Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night with that terrifying sensation that your entire room is spinning around you? Or maybe you've felt like you were falling into an abyss when you turned over in bed. If you're over 45 years old and experience this nighttime vertigo, know that you're not alone, and most surprisingly, the cause might be in a daily habit that almost all of us have. As an ENT doctor for over 20 years, I've discovered that this common habit is silently triggering vertigo attacks in thousands of people, especially during the night. And the most shocking part, the solution might be much simpler than you imagine. Did you know that approximately 40% of people over 50 will experience some type of vertigo in their lives? And according to research from the Mayo Clinic, one of the most respected medical institutions in the United States, almost 25% of these occurrences happen during the night or upon waking. As a doctor specializing in balance disorders, I've treated more than 5,000 patients with complaints of dizziness and vertigo. What intrigued me was noticing a consistent pattern. Many of these patients reported that their symptoms worsened significantly at night, especially when lying down or changing position in bed. After years of research and clinical observation, I identified 5 main factors related to nighttime vertigo, including a daily habit that most people never imagined could be causing this debilitating problem. Today, I'm going to share with you not only these surprising factors, but also natural and proven solutions that can completely transform your quality of life. Let's start with the 5th most important factor that contributes to nighttime vertigo. Factor number 5, inadequate hydration. The 5th factor is inadequate hydration during the day, especially in the hours leading up to sleep. Many people don't make the connection, but dehydration can trigger or intensify episodes of vertigo, particularly during the night. When the body doesn't receive enough fluids, blood volume decreases, reducing blood flow to the brain and to the vestibular system, which is responsible for our balance. Rosa, a 68-year-old retired nurse, came to my office after suffering with recurring episodes of nighttime vertigo for almost 8 months. Doctor, I wake up in the middle of the night feeling like I'm on a runaway carousel. I'm so afraid of falling that now I sleep with the lights on and avoid even going to the bathroom during the night. She confessed with tears in her eyes. When analyzing her daily habits, I noticed that Rosa consumed significant amounts of coffee and caffeinated beverages during the day, but rarely drank pure water. Additionally, she deliberately restricted liquid intake after 6 p.m. to avoid nighttime bathroom trips. What Rosa didn't know is that this strategy was, ironically, making her symptoms worse. The science behind this is fascinating. Our vestibular system, the complex labyrinth inside, the inner ear that functions like a true body GPS, depends on a precise balance of fluids to function correctly. Think of it like a bubble level, that tool that builders use to check if a surface is perfectly horizontal. When we're dehydrated, the composition of these fluids changes, affecting the density of the endolymph, the liquid that fills the semicircular canals of the inner ear. Studies published in the Journal of Vestibular Research show that even mild dehydration, around 1 to 2% of body weight, can significantly impact vestibular function, especially in people over 50, whose natural compensatory mechanisms are no longer as efficient. To solve this problem, I guided Rosa to adopt a hydration strategy distributed throughout the day. Instead of drinking large amounts of water all at once, I suggested she consume small sips constantly, using a bottle marked with times to track her intake, specifically for the nighttime period. I recommended that she reduce caffeinated beverages after noon and replace them with chamomile or lemon balm teas, which, besides hydrating, have relaxing properties that promote sleep. I also advised her to consume foods with high water content, like watermelon, cucumber, and celery, especially at dinner. It's important to note that people with kidney or heart problems should consult their doctor before significantly increasing fluid intake. 3 weeks later, Rosa returned to the office with a smile on her face. Doctor, it seems almost like a miracle. I still have some mild episodes of dizziness, but nothing compared to that horrible sensation from before. Now I can sleep peacefully. This case naturally leads us to the 4th factor that contributes to nighttime vertigo, something that particularly affects people over 45 years old. Factor number 4, vitamin D and magnesium deficiency. The 4th factor involves vitamin D and magnesium deficiency, 2 nutrients crucial for the proper functioning of the vestibular system. According to recent research from Johns Hopkins Medicine, approximately 70% of people who suffer from recurring vertigo have suboptimal levels of these nutrients. What makes this deficiency particularly treacherous is that it can remain silent for years, initially manifesting only as mild episodes of imbalance that many wrongly attribute to fatigue or the normal aging process. João, a 65-year-old former bus driver, came to my office after suffering a frightened fall when getting up from bed during the night. Doctor, it was like the floor had disappeared from under my feet. One minute I was getting up to go to the bathroom, the next I was on the floor, completely disoriented. My wife thought I had a stroke, he reported, visibly shaken. After a complete evaluation, including laboratory tests, we discovered that Jola had severely low levels of both vitamin D and magnesium. The science behind this connection is fascinating and still little known. Vitamin D plays a fundamental role in maintaining the health of otoliths, small calcium carbonate crystals located in the inner ear that are essential for perceiving gravity and linear movement. Imagine these crystals like pebbles in a shoe. When they're in the right place, we barely notice their presence, but when they shift, they cause immense discomfort. Vitamin D deficiency compromises the formation and maintenance of these crystals, making them more susceptible to displacement, especially during sudden movements like turning in bed or getting up quickly. Magnesium acts as a guardian of ionic channels in the hair cells of the vestibular system, regulating the flow of calcium and potassium that are crucial for proper transmission of balanced signals to the brain. When magnesium levels are low, these channels become hypersensitive, triggering erratic signals that the brain interprets as movement, even when we're still. For Joe, we developed a strategic nutritional plan that included foods rich in vitamin D like salmon, sardines, eggs, and fortified dairy products, plus natural sources of magnesium like avocados, dark green leaves, nuts, pumpkin seeds, and dark chocolate with high cocoa content. I also recommended supervised supplementation, especially during winter months. When sun exposure, the main natural source of vitamin D, is more limited. In just 2 months following this protocol, Joe's nighttime vertigo episodes reduced drastically, and his confidence to move around during the night was restored. It's important to emphasize that vitamin D and magnesium supplementation should always be guided by a healthcare professional, as excessive dosages can cause side effects. Additionally, patients with kidney problems need special monitoring when supplementing magnesium. This discovery naturally leads us to the third critical factor that many people completely ignore when it comes to nighttime vertigo. Factor number 3, head and neck posture during sleep. The third surprising factor is related to head and neck posture during sleep, especially for those who spend many hours looking down at electronic devices during the day. This connection between smartphone or tablet use and nighttime vertigo is something I've observed with increasing frequency in recent years. What happens is that the posture known as text neck, that forward curvature when we look at screens, creates chronic tension in the muscles and ligaments of the cervical region, directly affecting the vertebral arteries that supply blood to the vestibular system in the inner ear. Maria, a 58-year-old retired teacher, came to my office completely desperate after 3 months, suffering with intense nighttime vertigo. Doctor, it's like I'm on a roller coaster every time I lay my head on the pillow. I've had various tests, and nobody finds anything. I'm starting to think it's all psychological. She vented with evident frustration. During our evaluation, I noticed that Maria spent about 6 hours daily on her tablet, mainly hunched over a table, browsing social media, reading news, and making video calls with her grandchildren. Additionally, she slept with 2 high pillows, keeping her neck in flexion even during sleep. The mechanism by which this posture affects balance is fascinating. Our cervical spine contains specialized sensors that inform the brain about head position in space. When we remain in inadequate positions for long periods, these sensors begin to recalibrate incorrectly, sending conflicting information with that coming from the vestibular system. It's like having 2 GPS devices, giving different directions at the same time. The result is confusion and disorientation. Factor number 2, common medications and their effects. The second crucial factor involves commonly used medications and their effects on the vestibular system, particularly when taken close to bedtime. Many people don't realize that certain medications they use routinely for other conditions might be silently contributing to their nighttime vertigo episodes. According to a comprehensive study by the National Institute on Deafness and Other Communication Disorders, NIDC, more than 400 common medications have dizziness or vertigo listed as possible side effects. Carlos, a 61-year-old salesman, sought my help after suffering with intense and recurring nighttime vertigo episodes that began about an hour after lying down. Doctor, it's like my entire room enters a spin cycle. I'm so afraid it might be something serious that now I sleep sitting in a living room chair." He confessed, visibly disturbed. When analyzing his medical history and medications in detail, I identified that Carlos was taking his blood pressure, medication, a beta blocker along with an antihistamine for seasonal allergies, both before bedtime. What Carlos didn't know is that this specific combination, especially when consumed at night, was creating a perfect storm for his vertigo episodes. The science behind this phenomenon is complex but enlightening. Many hypertension medications, like beta blockers and diuretics, can cause blood pressure fluctuations, particularly when a person lies down. These fluctuations directly affect blood flow to the inner ear and brain structures responsible for balance. When combined with antihistamines, which by themselves can already cause dizziness by affecting neurotransmitters related to balance, the effect can be significantly amplified. Other medications frequently associated with vertigo include some antidepressants, anticonvulsantes, muscle relaxants, and even certain antibiotics. The solution for Carlos didn't involve simply stopping the medication that would be dangerous and irresponsible. Instead, I worked together with his cardiologist to adjust the dosing schedule, moving the hypertension medication to the morning and replacing the antihistamine with a newer generation alternative with less blood-brain barrier penetration. I also recommended that he keep a detailed symptom diary to help us identify any other correlations. The results were remarkable. Just 2 weeks after the adjustment, Carlos's nighttime vertigo episodes reduced in frequency and intensity. After a month, he could sleep comfortably in his bed again. "Doctor, I never imagined that something seemingly as simple as the timing of my medications could have such a big impact. I went through numerous expensive tests and nobody had considered this possibility," he reported with evident relief. It's fundamental to emphasize that patients should never adjust or stop medications on their own. Always consult your doctor before making any changes to your therapeutic regimen. Now, we come to factor number 1, the most surprising and least known daily habit that is silently triggering nighttime vertigo in thousands of people. Factor number 1, prolonged digital screen use without blue light protection, the first and most impactful factor. I discovered in my research with patients who suffer from nighttime vertigo, something almost all of us do daily: prolonged use of digital screens, especially in the evening hours, without protection against blue light. This seemingly harmless habit is creating a true silent epidemic of nighttime vestibular disorders. Recent research published in the American Journal of Otolaryngology reveals that intense exposure to blue light emitted by smartphones, tablets, and computers before sleep can reduce melatonin production by up to 40%, a hormone fundamental not only for sleep, but also for regulating inner ear fluids during the nighttime period. Anna, a 72-year-old grandmother with 5 grandchildren, came to my office after a frightening fall caused by a severe vertigo episode upon waking in the middle of the night. "Doctor, it was terrifying. I opened my eyes at 3 a.m. to go to the bathroom and felt like I was on a boat in the middle of a storm. I tried to get up and simply collapsed on the floor. My husband thought I was having a stroke," she reported, visibly shaken. During our detailed consultation, I discovered that Anna had developed the habit of watching series on her tablet for 2 to 3 hours every night, frequently until moments before sleeping, something that began during the pandemic and intensified in recent months. The science behind this surprising connection between blue light and vertigo is fascinating. Our vestibular system follows its own circadian rhythm, just like practically all systems in our body. During sleep, a crucial process of recalibration of inner ear fluids occurs, especially of the endolymph, the liquid that fills the semicircular canals. This process is orchestrated by hormones whose balance depends directly on the normal light-darkness cycle. Blue light emitted by digital devices is interpreted by the brain as daylight, suppressing melatonin production and other neuroregulators essential for this nighttime recalibration process. The result, the vestibular system can't reset properly during sleep, becoming hypersensitive to position changes, especially when waking up or turning over in bed during the night. For Anna, I developed a nighttime digital detox protocol that included completely eliminating the use of electronic devices in the 2 hours before sleep, installing blue light filter apps on all her devices programmed to activate automatically at sunset, using special glasses with blue light filters for moments when screen use was unavoidable at night, and gradually replacing the habit of watching series before sleep with calmer activities like reading physical books, not e-readers, or practicing guided relaxation. Additionally, I recommended small bedroom adaptations like night lights with yellowish instead of white or bluish tones to avoid circadian cycle disruption if she needed to get up during the night. The results were surprisingly quick. Conclusion and next steps after learning about these 5 crucial factors that may be silently triggering your nighttime vertigo, you might be wondering, what now? Where do I start? The good news is that, as we've seen through the stories of Rosa, Jo Maria, Carlos, and Aina, it's possible to recover your balance and quality of life with relatively simple and natural interventions. The first step is recognizing that vertigo is not just part of aging or something you need to learn to live with. It's also not all psychological. As many patients are led to believe when initial tests don't reveal obvious causes, vertigo, especially that which occurs during the night, is frequently a sign that something in your lifestyle or environment is unbalancing your vestibular system, that delicate internal GPS that we all possess. As a doctor who has already helped thousands of patients overcome this debilitating problem, I can guarantee that small changes implemented consistently can bring transformative results. Start by identifying which of the 5 factors most resonates with your personal situation. Is it dehydration, excessive screen use at night, sleep posture, nutritional deficiencies, or perhaps medication, side effects? Remember that in many cases there may be a combination of factors contributing to your symptoms, like a complex puzzle. Each piece matters to form the complete picture. Keep a simple diary for 2 weeks, recording not only when vertigo episodes occur, but also your habits in the hours that preceded them. This record can reveal surprising patterns that not even your doctor could identify in a brief consultation. Also remember that the recovery journey is usually gradual. Don't get discouraged if results aren't immediate. The vestibular system, like any other body system, needs time to adapt and recalibrate. Did you recognize yourself in any of the 5 factors we discussed today? Which one caught your attention the most? If this video helped you better understand nighttime vertigo and its possible causes, don't forget to leave your like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Share with someone you know who suffers with dizziness or vertigo. You might be offering them the key to recovering their quality of life. In the comments, tell me, which of these habits will you change first in your routine? Remember, small adjustments can make a giant difference when it comes to our delicate balance system. Until the next video, take care of your balance, just like you take care of your health.